Hello there. Thank you. Oh, okay, that's better. My name is Arun Gupta, and
Hi, I'm Dan Hardiker.
awesome. So we thought we'll do a quick 15-minute session, tell you about Devoxx4Kids. This is like at Devoxx. Devoxx4Kids is basically an initiative where we promote technology, education, computer science, programming, robotics, all these technologies targeted primarily towards kids.
Absolutely. It's run all over the world. It's got a bunch of workshops, and the aim is to gather 50, 60 kids, usually around about 10, 12 per workshop, and we're going to be running one in the UK.
Right. So now we started in Belgium originally. Then now we have chapters in Holland, France, Switzerland, India, Indonesia, USA, all over the world. So it's really getting a lot of traction in terms of it. And as Dan said rightly, that we have lots of topics that we cover as part of it. So what you're looking at over here is our website. So it's very intuitive, devoxx4kids.org. So the primary goal of the organization, so to say, is make it so easy for kids so that they understand it, first of all, and do it in a very fun and interactive way.
So there's many initiatives, especially in the UK. So you have Coder Dojo, you have Co-Club, you have a bunch of different initiatives in the UK aimed at different styles and aimed at different age ranges to achieve different objectives. One of the things we often get asked for, especially when we're going out to talk to people, is, so how is this different? How is this different to a Coder Dojo? So Devoxx4Kids, its objective isn't to teach anything. We don't hope that a kid will come away having learned anything other than, I really enjoyed doing X. Now, X might be playing with Mindstorms. It might be doing some robotics. It might be playing with Arduinos and doing electronics. It might be programming in Alice or in Greenfoot. The key is to give them a bunch of exposure to different areas of technology and to get them hooked on that, I made this. I mean, the slogan that we use as presenters and trainers at these events is, your kids play games, our kids make them. And this is what we really want to instill into the next generation that are coming to these events, is not to be a consumer of technology, but a creator.
I think that too is a very, and the most critical part of it, doing it in a fun way. Because the moment you take fun out of it, kids are going to lose it right away. So the workshops are short, anywhere from like hour-long to 3-hour-long, depending upon country, geography, culture. And then there are a variety of topics, as Dan said. We have done workshops on Scratch, Alice, Greenfoot, Minecraft, Raspberry Pi, Arduino. We have a most recent workshop coming up, which we just announced in the US, is on iPhone game development. So all sorts of fun workshops are coming up. And then we are also getting links from other people in the community, how they want to help us run a local chapter. We want to be an instructor. I want to be a helper. And it need not necessarily be in an event itself. We also go out to different schools. We work with different Java user groups, with different community members to spread the word.
Yes, and it's not just we're aiming to be Devoxx4Kids and the world should follow our plan. Our plan is to involve and invoke the other organizations that are around us. So we mentioned Coder Dojo before. That's like a scouting movement, so you go to it on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, depending on the chapter, and you have regular contact where they go through a curriculum. You have Co-Club, which is an after-school club for kids. So rather than doing sports after school, we now have people from industry teaching these kids about technology and about different things that they can achieve.
Right. So maybe what we want to do is quickly walk them through the website a little bit here. So for example, if you look at the countries here, some of the countries, and now we have a lot more bigger list of countries, but the countries that actually have a website are highlighted here. So for example, if I look at France, for instance, it talks about, and I think one of the biggest advantages that Dan was talking about that we provide is the workshop material, for example, is built in a language, which is either English or French or German or Dutch. But once it's built into that language, because we have such a wide outreach on a global scale, the material actually gets translated in all these different languages. So you can actually leverage it in your community. And we have a GitHub workspace where all the material is available. We get the material created in the US, then I send it to all the Devoxx4Kids leaders around the world, and they take it as per their convenience and get it translated. Because English is not a universal language. No way. No way it's a universal language around the world. So we have to give it to the kids in their language. So
we heard earlier Dan North talking about how you engage with someone, and the way he was talking about engaging with a team is rather than trying to get them to come to you, you go to them and operate at their level. That's exactly what we're doing. It makes it very easy for us as well, because the technological level of understanding is really low. You don't need much experience in order to come along and help with these things. It really is a very low bar for adoption.
Yeah, I mean, low bar in the sense we go anywhere from literally 4, 5-year-old kids walking into the door. They barely know copy-paste. They may not even know that. They don't know how to click around on the iPad, and that's about it. So you teach them, you engage them. Okay, you know what? I'm going to show you a simple Scratch workshop. I'm going to get you engaged with the leap motion over there. So with your, let's create a game. With your hand, you can take a kitty, move from one corner to the other corner. They can do that. Just show them the basic game. Once they got a hook, once they're in, then you can pull them in. Let me teach you the basic concepts of Scratch. What is Scratch? It's a visual programming tool. Oh, you know what? You want to make the kitty go 10 steps forward. How do you do it? So you say, okay, you know what? Write down 10 steps forward, and it's just drag and drop. Just put the number 10. So they don't need to know any syntax. They don't need to know, oh, I need to compile it. You just drag and drop it, and then say run it. That's it. So let them understand the basic software programming concepts at a very abstract way.
So what you're looking for is to give them the wow, I made that factor. And for a 4 to 5-year-old, that's different for an 8 to 9-year-old. And again, it's very different for a 10 to 16-year-old. We find that we often focus our marketing. So the UK one that's running on Saturday is aimed at 10 to 16-year-olds. But if you're a really smart 8 or 9-year-old, well, sure, come along. But expect for the material to be aimed at that age range. We might want to do events aimed at 4 or 5-year-olds and 5 to 6-year-olds, which you have to treat quite independently. But remember the audience that you're dealing with, and you want to get that achievement really quickly at their skill level. I think one of the things that I always find unnerving to some degree, but also amazing, is the creativity that these kids come with. I mean, we build these things, and then we'll have a kid go, wow, can I make it do this? They say, sure, I know how to do that. I'll help you make that. And give them the feeling of accomplishment, and they feel that, actually, I can shape technology to do what I want, which is an experience that all of us have had in our past.
Agreed. So, I mean, one of the most common workshops that we do back in the US, I mean, I run the US chapter. We do it different parts of the US. One of the most prominent workshops that we have done, and most famous one, so to say, is Minecraft modding. Every time we do the workshop, we teach kids, we tell them very clearly in the beginning, we are teaching you how to fish. We're not giving you a fish. We give them a couple of fishes, but then we teach them how to fish. So once we have taught them the basic concept, this is how you can do Minecraft modding, literally after 2 mods, their mind starts running wild. And this is like harnessing their creativity. Oh, can I make snowman sound like a witch? Can I make TNT explosions bigger? Can I make them colorful? Can I make my own firework? Can I make my own items? So they'll really start going in. And pretty much, I've personally delivered that workshop maybe 10, 15 times. But every workshop, these kids are so unique and so valuable, they give us new ideas. Oh, you know what? You should build these mods. So I think it's all about kind of harnessing their creativity and understanding what they want and just kind of sit with them. Same thing Dan was saying, pair programming. Just sit with them on their chair. This is what you want. Let me help you with that. I don't know how to do it, but let's work on it together.
So there's a great case in point about how we can help deliver these to young people. So we were delivering a Arduino hack session, and we were doing closed-loop circuit. So how do we give them a topic or a challenge that they think would be interesting? I know we can make it so they can detect when someone's been into their room. And it can even hook up, the Arduino can send an SMS message to their phone, and they can be told by their mum's gone in their room. And so kids were all over that. They wanted to know, my room's my domain, leave me alone. And there was a girl in the corner who quietly disappeared into the background and came back and did something that surprised me. She'd taken the same touch circuit and break and alarm goes off, but she'd turn the alarm into a scream, and she said, look what I've done. If I rip my doll's head off, it now screams, which was both disturbing, but also, wow, that's not something I would ever have considered teaching you how to do. But we just give them the technology, and they'll run with it, and they will go a mile.
Right, right. So going back to the website here, for example, if I can figure out how to go back. Oh, there you go. All right. Yeah. So we're back on the website here. So you can look at the countries page, for example. So let's say we take a look at the USA page. It kind of shows you. So this is one of the workshops we did last year in August. And you can see the events range. They range literally anywhere from 10 to 200. And we are even planning bigger events later this year. So there is definitely a lot of scope over there. You can look at, sort of, I run this chapter, so I can know a little bit more about this. But upcoming workshops, completed workshops, there are lots of different ways. We are here to help you out. If you want to run a local chapter, we more than encourage you. And in any sense, don't think of it in the UK, you can only have one chapter. Because UK is so big, you can run a chapter literally in your neighborhood, literally in your kids' school. Run a local chapter of Devoxx4Kids. Tell us what do you need from us. We have all the workshop material available on a GitHub. We're happy to help. You guys don't need translation, which is a good part. So you can use the material as is, because pretty much most of the material is originally created in English, or at least translated to English in that sense. So that should be useful.
Yes, so we're running Devoxx4Kids at the Shoreditch Village Hall, which is just up the road from Old Street. We're running it on Saturday. We've currently got about 30 kids coming. We've got capacity for more, so if you're able to promote, or if you know of anyone who could bring kids, by all means come down. The challenge that we've had in the UK when trying to get the message out has been a lot of isolationism. So we found that Code Club want to do what Code Club do. And as much as I'm happy to promote everyone's interests, getting the message out is the key thing that you'll need to do. Going into schools, dropping leaflets into bags. If you're willing and able to do that, we've so far not had a single parent or child that has heard about it and is able to come say, no, that's not for me. Everyone wants to be involved.
So what I want to leave is basically the link to the Eventbrite page. It's very simple URL, devoxx4kids-uk.eventbrite.com. If you go to that page, it gives you more details about what is available, what you can do. We charge a minimal fee just to make sure there is a commitment in the game that you can actually, yes, I'm going to commit my weekend. I'm going to spend the day over there, because instructors come and teach the workshops as well. So again, you can bring your kid. That is definitely a possibility. But if you just want to run a workshop, I'm just going to learn, and I'm going to go back to my home and then run my own workshop, come over. Come over just to learn the stuff, help volunteer. Then I'm going to guide these kids on how the workshops, I'm just going to learn how a workshop is being run, take the material, run it a local chapter in my street. Could be as local as that.
And if you've working with different technologies that we don't have workshops for already, you're talking about we have an iPhone one. If you want to come and help us build an Android one, go for it. We're always up for new material. There's a plethora of ways that you can get involved, and we're an open community and happy to have as many people help.
I think that concludes our time as well.
Yes. So any questions?
And by the way, we have local leads from different countries as well. So Audrey, Tasha, and here you go. So we got more people here. So if you have questions, by all means connect with them. All of us are pretty much going to be here today and tomorrow. So catch us in the hallway. I have a question. I want to ask this. Let us know. We're here.
Any questions? Is anyone coming to Devoxx4Kids on Saturday? Hey. Excellent. There's going to be a training session for those that are, and even if you're not and you just want to see what these kids learn, the way in which we're going to be kicking it off is tomorrow at 2 p.m. We're meeting at reception. We're going to have a train the trainer, where we'll be showing the volunteers that are turning up on Saturday what we're going to be doing and Here's how we build a Mindstorms kit. Here's what the kids are going to be learning the following day. It's really simple. It's really easy. And even if you're not coming and volunteering, but you're interested in being able to and enabled, by all means come along and have a look. Thank you.
Maybe I missed it, but what's the age range for this?
This particular one, we're advertising 10 to 16, but the medium range is about 11, so we're allowing 8 and 9-year-olds as well.
So, I mean, depending upon, and that's a very common question, actually. Most of the time, the way we define it is, instead of giving a blanket age, that's sort of more as a guideline, but typically the workshops are more age-guided. So, like, you don't expect, like, a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old to be successful in a Raspberry Pi kind of a workshop. On the other hand, I've seen, like, 7-year-old working really well in a Minecraft modding workshop, whereas intense Minecraft, 400 Java source files, Eclipse, and they can handle that just because the fact they love Minecraft. So it's different levels of tapping.
So you can see we've got 6 different workshops that are going to be running at this event. And because we're going to be splitting them up by age, so we'll take the 8 and 9 and perhaps the 10-year-olds that aren't quite technically advanced. We'll stick those in together in a workshop, and you can quite easily just change and adapt to the way in which you're engaging with them and let the 11 and the 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds go off and do something a bit more technically advanced. We've currently got a ratio of about 1 trainer to every 3 kids. So that's a really good number to be able to help. Pair programming is, we paired the kids across the board, so they're helping each other, but then we can cover a couple of pairs and really help guide them. It's going to be 2 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to meet at the registration desk. Yes, here.
Well, not here, but yeah.
Is it at the registration desk down where you picked your badge up?
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.